the East and West battle for supremacy is the idea that we subscribe to this theory called MAD, mutually assured destruction. Well, you cannot have mutually assured destruction when you don't value life. And the main problem, the fundamental issue over here, is that Hamas has a doctrine of martyrdom. And so you've got nothing to, what have you got to negotiate with? We have very little to negotiate with over here. And the only answer at the end of the day is total decimation. And the Iranian regime, and I've got to bring them in, I'm sorry, because they are responsible for the Houthi, for the Hezbollah, for Hamas. They are a sponsor of the proxy of terror. And these proxies of terror have done nothing but wreak havoc on the Middle East and the region. And you've got to look to the stake, and you've got to take care of the head of the stake. And I certainly hope Mr. Trump is looking after that.
And I want to touch base on that. It's not only Iran, it's also Turkey and it's Qatar as well that have been funding Hamas. So to see Qatar come out there and have also have a voice was disheartening to see. But I want to go to your book you just touched on, a Wake Up Call. So talk about that. What made you write that book? And really, what do you want readers to take away? And talk about the anti-Semitism that you talk about and the concern you have for it.
My wife and I went to Israel in January because we were very concerned about our son, and we wanted to understand something that everybody is asking. How did this happen? This is 5,000 terrorists packed with 8 days of goods and duffel bags to be able to survive. How do they get drones and RPGs and all of this stuff under the noses of Israelis? And so this is something that really plagued me. It's something that plagues everybody out there. And so I started to make an observation, and I created 7 observations, which is what the Wake Up Call is about, that deals with 7 different observations that I have made of how the October 7th happened and how this war has taken place. And I'll tell you something that is key to all this. That this has taken over 2 years. Some say longer, but I'll say at least 2 years in planning. That the international community has been responsible via UNRWA as an agency to perpetuate the Palestinian crisis and to bring in all these arms. And literally, they are responsible. If the UN and the UNRWA are singularly responsible for being a conduit to build up the arms of Hamas and to do this, the betrayal of society in the Western Hemisphere. When I go to and I see the protests and the encampments, and I see Queers for Palestine, and I see all this crazy dissonance that's going on out there that are supporting, then rationalizing that this is an act of resistance. This is not an act of resistance. These people are murderers. They have bludgeoned and raped. And when I see feminists get up there and talk about Hamas being an act of resistance and the genocide that didn't happen, or accusing Israel, I am just disgusted at this distance. So I feel, as a Jewish person, as a North American, especially as a Canadian, and that's a whole other conversation with what we've had to deal with here, that show. But I feel betrayed, and that's what the Wake Up Call talks about. It's time to wake up.